Hi, thank you for joining today's chair yoga session. I'm Mandy, and this is about a 30-minute practice that we're going to do with the support of a chair. It's super beneficial for anyone who's trying to stay off of their wrists, or if you have any issues, with your feet, stiff back, stiff hips. Really good for heart health, and bringing balance and stability into the body with the support of a chair. So I hope you have a seat, a comfortable seat in your chair. We're going to go ahead and scoot to the back so you have your back support behind you. Your thighs are going to be parallel with one another, so knees are in line with your hips, and then your feet will just settle underneath the knees. Okay. Let's take the hands to the shoulders, and you're going to help the shoulders to roll up and down and back a few times. Starting to deepen your breath a bit. And then we'll take the hands, the palms, to rest comfortably on the thighs. And as they settle down, kind of feel the weight of your elbows descend. Make sure your collarbones are spread fairly wide so your shoulder blades can drop down your back. Chin is just slightly tucked, and we're going to drop our eye gaze down or close the eyes to bring our awareness into the body. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose or the mouth if needed. Beginning to expand the chest a bit as you inhale. And feeling the weight of the hips and the legs as you exhale. Inhale deep enough to feel your mid-back and your upper back expanding into back of your chair. And exhale and soften the muscles of your face and the corners of your eyes. Just taking a couple of moments to observe sensation in the body. Slow down the breath a bit to prepare for our practice. Notice the space between your sit bones and the crown of your head, and grow a little taller in your spine as you inhale. And allow your outer body to soften a bit as you exhale. Then we'll inhale and bring the palms together in front of the heart. Inhale, gently lift the chest. Exhale and bow your face down to gaze within. And then we'll gently lift the face and open the eyes. And then we'll take the arms out wide, and we're going to take the hands behind the head, interlacing your fingers right behind your head. Sit nice and tall and lift those ribs away from your waist as you hinge over to one side, dropping one elbow and then lifting slightly up and back with your top elbow, rolling back that shoulder. Notice if one of your legs and one side of your hip gets really light, like it wants to come off the chair, and imagine a sandbag on the top of that opposite thigh. Inhale through the center, sit tall. Exhale, hinge to the other side. It doesn't have to be real deep, just enough to open the ribs a touch. Roll that top elbow back. Ground your thigh bones evenly like you've got sandbags there. Inhale, come up, and exhale, press your arms down to your sides. Sit nice and tall, back of your neck is long. Inhale, lift your arms. Maybe you gaze up if the neck will allow it, and then exhale and press your arms down. 2 more times. Inhale, reach out to the sides and reach up through your inner arms. And exhale as the arms come down. Inhale, the arms come up. Reach up through the ribs. Exhale and lower the arms down. This time we're going to inhale, lift the arms overhead. And as your arms go out to your sides, start to roll your pelvis forward over your thighs. And let your arms come down toward the floor and release the weight of your head. And let your belly just rest on your thighs. Pause here and take a full breath into the belly so that it opens when you inhale and it softens back as you exhale. Now we're going to look up with the head. Inhale, lift your arms out to the sides. Drop a weight into your hips as the torso lifts. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. 2 more times. Inhale. Leading with the rolling of the pelvis, and then your heart, and then your chin, and then last your forehead. Back of the neck is soft. Take a full breath here. Edges of the belly press into the thighs as you inhale. Exhale, they soften back. Inhale, look up. If it helps to push into your feet a little bit, do that to help the spine and the torso lift. Fingertips reach overhead. Exhale, arms down. 1 more time. We're increasing the circulation in the body. We're warming the body a bit with the movement. Soften the crown of your head downward. Take a full belly breath. Inhale, look up. Start to lift the chest, the head, the arms alongside the ears. Exhale. Press the arms down and then bring your thumbs to your sternum. Gaze downward. Take a full breath. And exhale, soften the hands down. Now, we're going to turn to the side of the chair so that you have one arm on the back of your chair, okay? And now your thighs are parallel going in one direction. You're sitting nice and tall. Stacking the shoulders over the ribs, ribs over the hips. We're going to twist toward the back of the chair. So try to keep the hips kind of stable and in alignment. And then you're going to take your hands and reach for the back of your chair, right? So one hand will go over here, one here, and then you're going to lift the chest as you inhale, and as you exhale, you can pull a little bit with one hand and push with the other and wrap the ribs gently around the mid and upper spine. Breathe again. Inhale and imagine the crown of the head lifts a touch, and as you exhale, draw the navel in just a little more. Inhale and look forward. Bring your hands back around to your thighs. Take a full breath. Inhale, exhale, twisting again. Inhale, grab the chair, pause and exhale. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale and revolve the ribs. And if the head wants to continue, you can look past that shoulder. If the neck is stiff, you might be just looking straight over the back of your chair. Inhale to come back to the center, looking forward. Exhale, bring your hands to the thighs. Now, rotate your legs toward the front of your chair, and then your knees all the way around to the opposite side. Sit tall. Take an inhalation, grab the back of your chair with both hands, lift your chest, and exhale, and use your arm strength to help you twist your spine. Inhale as though you're creating space between your floating ribs and your hip bones, and exhale, twist a little deeper. Inhale, come back to the center, look forward, and then revolve the ribs, hands rest on your thighs. Take a breath. Hands go to the back of the chair. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale and twist. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, deepen your twist. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, hands on your thighs. Okay, now whatever leg is closest to the back of your chair, you're going to keep it on the seat of your chair. This leg that's kind of out toward the center of your room, you're going to start to walk back toward a lunge. So, if you slide this bent knee side kind of closer to the edge of the seat, then you have room to start to walk this leg back, or this foot back. Notice that this hand is on the back of the chair for support, the forearm. My elbow's pretty much in line with the shoulder so that I can keep the chest lifted. And then I'm walking this foot back. I'm going to take the hand to the hip. I'm trying to ground through the heel of that bent knee leg, that foot. And then I'm lifting the chest. And this can be a lot of extension for the front hip flexor. It can be intense on your low back as well. So if it's too much, keep a slight bend in the back knee. Don't go so deep. You're still getting a nice stretch through the hip flexor. You're still stretching the quadricep, but you're not pinching your low back. So look forward, lift the chest as you inhale, and open your collarbones wide as you exhale. If that back leg starts to release a little bit, starts to open, you might try extending through the inner heel a little bit, tucking the hip bone slightly up and back. One more breath. And now we'll have the chin neutral. We're going to bring this back leg on into our seat. Sit tall, turn your legs forward, and then around to the other side. Now remember, this bent knee, that thigh, you want to have it closer to the edge of the seat so you have some space for the side of the chest when you take this forearm to the back of your chair. And then shoulders over the ribs, ribs over the hips. We're starting to walk this back foot behind us, eventually straightening the leg, but if it's too much right here in the front of your hip, or if you feel it gripping your low back, then bend the knee a little bit, ground through that knee, still ground through the back heel like you're extending it. Gently lift through the hip bone and breathe. Lift the chest as you inhale. Drop the shoulders as you exhale. And then head is neutral. Bring your back leg in. And we're going to turn and face forward on the seat of the chair. Okay. Now open your knees wide. Okay. And you could be all the way back to where your back is into the chair, or you could scoot forward and kind of hug on the knees to lift your chest. Okay. We're going to twist again. So we're going to take the ribs and shift them in one direction. Now you could hold the front of the chair with one hand and your other hand on the back of the chair and twist out kind of at a 45-degree angle. if your twist goes deeper, you can take that front hand, grab for the back of your chair, and continue deepening your twist. And see what's best for you, and reach through your inner knees. Continue opening the knees. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, and square your ribs and chest. So other side, you could start with the hand down, and then take this other hand to the back of the chair and lift into the twist. The knee behind you, where your head is not facing, or your face, wants to always collapse in. So keep reaching through that inner back knee. Use the strength of your arms to help you deepen your twist. Inhale, look forward, and exhale, unwind. Okay, now one hamstring thigh is going to be on the seat of the chair, and we're going to extend this back leg as much as possible behind us. If there's a little bend in the knee, it's not a big deal, but if you can straighten the leg and ground through the foot, especially the pinky side of the foot, even better. And then we're going to take this hand down to the thigh, this arm up overhead, and pause here with the wrist over the shoulder. This is just to check in with the mobility in the shoulder as well as your neck. The full pose, we take the inner arm to the outer ear. This doesn't always work for everybody depending on any kind of stiffness you have in the shoulder, or recent surgeries, or any surgeries. So if you try this and you're like, then just come back here. Stack the wrist. A couple of options with your head. You can look down toward your big toe on the floor. How does that feel for your neck? You could look toward the center of your room, or you can twist further by turning your eyes to look up toward the thumb. Ground through the outside edge of that extended foot. Squeeze the buttocks just a touch, and get long through the side body when you inhale. Strong, and ground through the legs as you exhale. Inhale and pull yourself up. And you can bring this back leg around to the seat of the chair. Both thighs face forward, and then you shift to the other side. So when you are setting up that bent knee side, the knee is right over the heel. You can see there's that right angle with the leg. And then this back foot is walking back behind you. Ideally, the toe is in front of the heel and the leg is straight, but if it needs to bend a little bit because you're stiff, that's fine. Eventually, the leg straightens, the chest lifts, and then this front forearm comes down to the thigh. Roll this top shoulder back. Extend the wrist right over the shoulder. And how does that shoulder feel? Do you feel pretty open up on that side of your body? How is the neck? If the inner arm comes comfortably to the outer ear, then you're in that full extended side body stretch. If the shoulder is better, if you're getting more space in the shoulder with the wrist over it, stay here. Then decide where the head should be positioned. Should you look down to the center of the room or toward the sky? And breathe. And lengthen that inner back leg. Breathe into the side ribs. Now pull with that top arm and inhale and come up. And then we'll lower the hands. You're going to come back to that nice even seat with your thighs parallel on your seat. Okay. A little bit of cat and cow. Slide your hands toward your knees. You're going to lean forward. In cat and cow, we want to round the upper back and draw in the navel as we exhale. And as you inhale, let your hands slide towards your hips on your thighs and lift through your chest and your chin. And exhale, hands slide to the knees, you sit back, tuck the chin, draw in the navel. Inhale, space between the ribs and the hips. Exhale, round your upper back, draw the shoulder blades away from each other. Inhale and come back. And then we'll have a nice neutral spine. Thighs are still parallel. Sit tall. Observe sensation in the body. Close down the eyes for a moment. Observe any areas where you feel more spacious, where you feel any tightness or strain. And then we'll gently open the eyes and we'll go through just a couple of balancing poses by standing up, taking the back of your chair to face your body, and then hold the chair with one hand. And then whatever leg is closest to the back of the chair is going to be your standing leg for Vrksasana, for tree pose. So you're going to shift your weight into that standing leg, lengthen the tailbone, lift the chest, and then take this opposite hand to the hip and decide, should the sole of the foot rest on the inner ankle, the inner calf of your standing leg, or do you want to grab that foot and pull it up into your inner thigh? Just avoid your knee. Hand on the hip to broaden the collarbones and create space between your ribs and your navel. Back of your neck is long, and then we'll bring one of our palms as though we're in a half prayer position with the hand. Inhale, create space between the crown of your head and the sole of that standing foot. Inhale and breathe into your ribs, opening them when you inhale. Draw back the navel as you exhale. Exhale, lower the hand and lower the foot. And you can either turn around, face the other side, or move your chair to the other side, holding it with the opposite hand. Your weight shifts into that foot. We lengthen the tailbone down, we lift the chest up, hand on the hip, sole of the foot somewhere on the inner leg other than your knee. The chair is here for your balance, right? Half prayer pose with the hand. Listen for your breath and feel the movement of your breath. Lifting the ribs away from the hips as you inhale. Soften the tops of your shoulders as you exhale. And exhale, release the hand and release the foot. You can keep holding that chair as you step the feet together, legs together, stand tall. Observe sensation for a moment. And then we'll set up for one more balancing pose where we're going to use the seat of the chair this time. So you'll face the seat of your chair. Hands are going to be on your hips, and you're going to pick up one foot and place it on your chair. Now, if you do that and you start to wobble, move over to a wall so that you can have this other hand on the wall. Okay, we're going to twist by drawing this outer hip slightly back so it stays in line with the standing leg hip side, and then lift your chest, and you're going to twist in the direction of your bent knee. Okay. Now inhale, square your ribs forward, And maybe you still hold that wall. Maybe you take the hands to the hips or your arms wide and twist toward your bent knee side. Your eyes can be toward the center of the room, or when you're ready to deepen the twist, you could start to turn the head and look a little bit further in the opposite direction of that bent knee. Now, inhale, look forward. Lower your hands so they're on the hips. If you need the wall for support, hold on to the wall as you lower that foot. Then we'll place the sole of the opposite foot on the seat of the chair. We stand nice and tall, and then we're starting to twist toward that bent knee. You can have one hand on the wall, one on your hip, or both on your hips. Now inhale, look forward, square your chest forward, and then twist again. And maybe you change your arm variation. You go for arms wide. Try to create some space between your floating ribs and your navel point when you inhale, and a little bit of a deeper twist as you exhale. Inhale, look forward, then let the ribs come back around, hands to your hips. Step that foot down. Use the wall for support or your chair if you need to as you step your feet together and you stand nice and tall. One last spinal stretch before we close. We're going to turn that chair around. Keep it on your sticky mat for sure. Have your hands reach for the back of your chair so they're shoulder distance apart. Start to walk your feet back, and you're going to bend your knees and reach your buttocks and your hips back away from the chair as your chest starts to drop and kind of sink toward your mat, and you're reaching up and back with your sit bones or your tailbone or both. The knees are bent to release the back even more, as well as give some relief to your hamstrings if they're stiff. You can have the legs straight if you're pretty flexible. But we're trying to create some space between the vertebrae by reaching the hips back, kind of tugging on our chair, but at the same time sort of pushing into the chair with the hands. Finding the stability in your body, lengthening through the side waist, the sides of the chest. Now to come out of it, bend your knees and inhale, lift your face and look up between your hands. Keep inhaling as you walk your feet forward slowly. If you get lightheaded at all, just keep looking down and wait for that to pass. And then inhale as you lift the rest of the way up. We're going to take our chair back to the center of the mat. Come down to your seat. Thighs are parallel. Feet are right under the knees. Open those toes. Slide back so your back is supported in the back of your chair. Your collarbones are spread wide. Shoulders open. And then place your palms softly on your thighs and let your elbows be heavy. Take a nice deep inhalation, lengthening the back of your neck. And as you exhale, just barely drop the chin and lower your eye gaze. Inhale, feel the breath, gently creating space in your body. Exhale, allow the breath to soften the tops of your shoulders. Inhale and exhale. Take a moment to observe sensation. Allow your lower jaw to be nice and soft. It's not gripping. Soften the corners of the eyes. Taking a moment just to observe in stillness. Slowly bring your palms together in front of your heart. Thank you so much for joining me for this chair yoga. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Namaste.